check that one. Obviously, they have to by rule, but my instincts say that was a good shot right there.
And Jimmy's like Jordan in a sense, in this way. He's always looking for something to piss him off.
Jimmy starts to drive, step back in the air.
Oh, happy step back and kiss myself. Big time play.
I just respect him so much as being such a unique, world-class, elite competitor. He competes to win. That's a different language, and he's desperate and urgent and maniacal and sometimes psychotic.
The lob for Butler, he did it! Jimmy Butler put it in with 0.3 of a second left and got fouled! Oh, you incredible, they didn't foul, ball game's over!
I haven't won on any level. I can't say that I'm a winner.
Jimmy Butler was born in a small suburb outside of Houston, Texas, and from the start, life wasn't easy. His father left when he was just a baby, and by the time he was 13, his mother kicked him out of the house. Imagine hearing your own mother say, "I don't like the look of you, you have to go." Those were the last words Jimmy heard before he found himself without a home. Now, let's be clear, Jimmy wasn't living on the streets, but his teenage years were spent bouncing from couch to couch. For most of us, it's hard to imagine going through something like that, but for Jimmy, it was his reality. He didn't have the stability that so many of us take for granted, and yet he didn't give up. Instead, he found a way to survive.
I think it was hard. I had to grow up at a young age, and I had to be able to not really take care of myself. I had help, but I was on my own for the most part, and that's the way I felt. My mom kicked me out of my house, to tell the truth, and I bounced in and out of guys' houses in high school. And like I said, my senior year, I found a stable home that just kept me, not because they thought I would be anything in basketball or because I'd be here interviewing on ESPN, but just because they're good people and they do good things, and they felt it was the right thing to do. And without them, I definitely wouldn't be in this position.
During his junior year of high school, Jimmy met Jordan Leslie at a basketball camp. The two quickly became close friends, and eventually Jordan's mother, Michelle Lambert, welcomed Jimmy into their home.
It doesn't open up too much, but I mean, you kind of get the gist of it. And I mean, I was just always like, man, you can stay tonight. My mom won't care. And then I'd just be like, oh, just one more night. And it's kind of
He's brought more to us than ever we could bring to him.
Now, keep in mind, Michelle already had 7 kids of her own, but she saw something in Jimmy and insisted on helping him. With a stable home environment and some much needed support, Jimmy began to thrive both on and off the court.
That's them, that's family, that's what that is. And you know, people say, oh, that's not blood. Well, I feel like family is who you love, you know, who you always want to be around, who's there for you with your holidays, who's there for your first game, for your first start, you know, things like that. And if you were to ask me those questions, they were always there.
Michelle set some ground rules like improving his grades and sticking to a curfew, but Jimmy was more than happy to comply. Finally, he had the stability he needed to focus on basketball and school. Now, it's important to note that Jimmy wasn't exactly a top prospect at this point. He was good, sure, but no major universities were knocking on the door. So after high school, Jimmy went to Tyler Junior College, where he began to make a name for himself. And that's when things started to change. After his first year at Tyler, Division I offers began rolling in, and eventually Jimmy chose to attend Marquette University in Milwaukee.
Beautiful city of Milwaukee, y'all. You know, I always try to wear my Houston brim, my Houston cap, game day, you know, just made me remember where I'm from.
At Marquette, Jimmy's numbers weren't flashy. He wasn't that kind of player who had NBA stardom written all over him, but one thing he showed from high school to college was his ability to hit big shots. He had that clutch gene, and that's something you simply cannot teach. It was his mental toughness, his grit, and his willingness to do the dirty work that set Jimmy apart. In 2011, Jimmy Butler's hard work paid off when he was drafted by the Chicago Bulls with the 30th overall pick.
With the 30th pick in the 2011 draft, the Chicago Bulls select Jimmy Butler from Marquette University.
But even then, Jimmy knew that his past didn't define him. During a pre-draft interview, he told reporters, and I quote, "Please, I know you're going to write something. I'm just asking you, don't write it in a way that makes people feel sorry for me. I hate that. There's nothing to feel sorry about. I love what happened to me. It made me who I am. I'm grateful for all the challenges I've faced."
I don't need anybody to feel bad for me or anything. I just, I made it. That's another chip that I kind of carry around with me, so to get me over hard times.
Now that mindset, not wanting pity, but instead embracing his journey, says everything you need to know about Jimmy Butler. His rookie year with the Bulls wasn't anything extraordinary, and in a lot of ways, it was a learning experience. The Bulls were one of the top teams in the league at the time, and Jimmy had to bide his time, waiting for an opportunity to show the world what he could do. But in sports and in life, sometimes all you need is that one chance to shine. And for Jimmy, that opportunity came during the 2011 season. The Bulls were hit with a string of injuries. Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, and Joakim Noah were all out at different points, and Jimmy found himself thrust into the rotation. It was a classic next man up situation, and Jimmy delivered. He quickly made a name for himself as one of the best defenders in the league.
You played great defense against Kobe Bryant on Monday. You played great defense against Tayshaun Prince tonight. Which are you more proud of, your offense or your defense?
My defense. I feel like defense wins games, and I feel like that's what I do for this team. Coming off the bench, energy, guarding, rebounding, man. It's a great feeling to know that I'm wanted on this team.
As the years went on, Jimmy continued to work on his game, and soon enough, he wasn't just a defensive specialist, he became a complete player. He developed into an offensive force, someone who could score, pass, and of course, still lock down the opposing team's best player. Jimmy put in the work and it paid off big time. Before landing with the Miami Heat, Jimmy had stints with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Philadelphia 76ers. But no matter where he played, one thing remained the same. Jimmy Butler played with a chip on his shoulder. He had something to prove, and he wasn't going to let anyone outwork him.
I just respect him so much as being such a unique, world-class, elite competitor. He competes to win. That's a different language, and he's desperate and urgent and maniacal and sometimes psychotic about the will to try to win.
In 2019, Butler signed with the Miami Heat, and that's where his legacy really began to take shape.
I don't think I'm that bad of a guy. I'm not like everybody thinks that I am. But the team that we have here, it's not about who you build around. It's just the guys that you have on the team. And to tell you the truth, here, hell, you always got people trying to beat me to the gym. You always got people they're in here late at night that are constantly working on their game.
Since joining the Heat, Jimmy has taken two very good, but not necessarily great, Miami teams all the way to the NBA Finals. What's more impressive is that on most nights, Jimmy isn't the most talented player on the floor, but he's the guy doing the little things that help his team win. Whether it's playing suffocating defense, making a smart pass, or hitting a clutch shot, Jimmy always finds a way to impact the game. In many ways, his leadership and competitive spirit remind people of legends like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Jimmy is on their level in terms of talent, but the way he wheels his team to victory and elevates the players around him is definitely reminiscent of those two. So what's the lesson in Butler's story? It's simple. No matter where you come from, no matter what challenges you face, you can overcome them. Jimmy didn't have an easy life, but he didn't let that stop him. He put in the work, believed in himself, and proved everyone wrong. That's why, even though Jimmy Butler doesn't want anyone to feel sorry for him, we should all respect the journey he's been on. He's one of the most inspiring stories in the NBA, and his resilience is something we can all learn from. Despite everything he's gone through, he's still suiting up for the Miami Heat and trying to win a championship. That says everything you need to know about the man and the player. Thanks everyone for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more upcoming videos and NBA content. My name is Damian Peters. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
I think you have to be your own version of trial and error, because I would hate for somebody to tell me what to do and it be wrong, because then I have an excuse.